Hey guys, Adrienne here, and this morning we're here to talk about a comfortable seat. Now, if you've meditated with me or with other yoga teachers or meditation professionals before, you might have heard us say, now find your comfortable seat, or let's come into a comfortable seat. But seriously, what the heck does that even mean? So, first and foremost, I don't think you actually have to be sitting in order to meditate. Some people will insist that you need to be in lotus position, which is when your feet are on top. But this is not comfortable for everybody. Plus, it gives you a lot of chance to sort of tickle your feet and do things that aren't really great for your lower anatomy. So sitting just crisscross applesauce like this is totally fine. Even sitting in a chair with your feet on the ground is great. Lying down in Shavasana, in corpse pose, it was what we call it in yoga, is another option. Now, if you're really tired or you're gonna fall asleep or something like that, of course I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend sitting up, or maybe even going and taking a nap first. But, so if we're sitting cross-legged, crisscross applesauce, whatever you want to call it, what we're going to think about when we find our comfortable seat, the first and most important is our spinal alignment. Because so many of us sit at desks where we're on the computer or we spend so much time texting, our spinal alignment has changed a lot. Now, we tend to sort of come into this rounded C-spine here that is really not good for anyone. You end up rounding your low back, over-exaggerating the kyphotic curve in your upper back, and now there's, of course, the phenomenon text neck, which is where we sort of end up like this, jetting our necks out. So the first thing that you want to remember is finding a neutral spine. Now, that means your pelvis is going to be in neutral, not in a tilt like you're at your computer, at your desk, which it shouldn't be then anyways. And you don't want to be poking your butt out either. Try to find a straight spinal alignment. One thing that can help, now I'm going to use a block here. I'm going to insert a picture where I'm using a pillow, which is actually a better solution. But one thing that can help if you find that you have this C-spine and you have trouble finding a neutral pelvis is actually using a pillow, a blanket, a bolster, or a block just to put under sort of your sit bones or the back part of your behind to sort of bring your pelvis back into a neutral setting. Another thing you need to kind of remember is to bring your shoulders down and back. You don't want them hunched forward. And the other thing is your chin. We're not going to do our text neck. We're going to bring our head up, find length in your spine, and dip your chin, almost like you're trying to create a bit of a double chin. Another thing that's kind of important is bringing the crown of your head over your tailbone. So we're not here, we're not here. And for a lot of us, it means we actually have to lean back. We have to find this neutral spine, because for me, this feels good, but the crown of my head is forward. If I actually lean back, I've now created a much more neutral or, straight spinal alignment here. Other things that are important to note are if you get cold easily, keep a blanket with you. Another thing a blanket is great for is to put under your ankles. If you have like bony ankles here and they start to hurt if you're sitting too long like this, mine sometimes do, you can put a blanket under them, or if you don't have one, rolling up your yoga mat and just putting it under your ankles can really help with that too. If you find that your feet tend to fall asleep, I'm someone whose feet used to fall asleep all the time, especially in this position, because you're kind of you're creating such an exaggerated, curve here at your hip flexors. So if you find that you're falling asleep, again, that pillow or block or bolster can come in handy. In this case, if you already have a neutral spine, you can go ahead and put it all the way under your bum. You know, if you have a C curve, you're not gonna want it all the way under your bum, because if you have a curve, you're still gonna have a curve. But this raises your hips over your pelvis. It creates a greater angle. You're no longer really at, you're not squished here. You've got a bigger angle between your hips and your knees, which just allows more room for blood flow. Other things you might want to have are, candles if you want something to focus on during your meditation. I do have a blog post where I talk about different types of meditation, and I'm sure I'll do a video to go with it too. So I will link that below. And basically, finding a comfortable seat is really just figuring out what is comfortable for you, what is going to allow you to meditate and just be able to sit in that position for long enough and not be fidgeting and distracted by your own discomfort. Hopefully that helped. Check out the blog post. I'll link everything below. Follow me on Instagram for more tips and tricks, and definitely join the email list. I will have that linked as well. So I really look forward to this. I hope this helped. I hope you guys find your comfortable seat for our next meditation session. Thanks for watching.